This is our second lesson on ethnicity and educational attainment. You can recall some more of the data, understand some of the factors behind the data. Today's lesson is Dr. Tony Sewell, lone parent family, Macho, Paul Connolly, these are both social scientists, racism, labelling, self-fulfilling prophecy, institutional racism, and curriculum. So, previous lesson, there's the questions, have a read of them. If you do not know the answer, look in the previous video. So, we're going to start off looking at the work of Dr. Tony Sewell, published in 1997. Dr. Sewell here, his research was looking at how come black boys, Afro-Caribbean boys in particular, tended to do badly at school. And his take on it was that they have anti-intellectual subculture. And his thinking was as follows. So most of these lads came from lone parent families. As a result, they lack male role models. Therefore, they look for other male role models outside their family. Their peer group becomes much more important to them. And this peer group is anti-intellectual, he said. They do not value doing well at school. They want material possessions, nice clothes, jewellery, cars, but they do not value the intellectual academic work needed to get it through work. So it's this, he said, that caused these kids to do badly in school. They have an anti-intellectual subculture, and therefore they won't work hard at school because it's seen as not very cool to work hard at school. We'll do more work on this, we'll talk about this more in class. Dr. Paul Connolly, he did some work on, again, black lads mostly, but he's in primary school, and he says it's a bit more complicated than that. He says, yes, these boys come to school with their own subculture, but I won't say in there, this gets misinterpreted to an extent by teachers, so it becomes a mixture of the subculture and labelling. They're also labelled as bad and disruptive by the school, by the teachers. Other researchers have said no, Afro-Caribbean people in particular doing badly in school is mostly about teacher and school straight up racism, and they might point out this sort of evidence here. We'll look at it in class. You got black kids doing really well in a test, then being put in bottom set. You've got Asian kids doing really badly in the same test, and being put in top set. We'll talk about this more in class to explain it. Yeah, there's some evidence for this, or certainly there used to be, and this research was done by interactionists. Or it could be labelling, same evidence for a different point of view. It could be that the black kids are put in bottom set, not because the teachers are straightforwardly, I don't like black people, racists. It could be they're put in bottom set because they've been labelled as less able and disruptive by the teachers because they're black. Or it could be institutional racism. And what people point out is that Afro-Caribbean people, black youths, are much more likely to be permanently excluded from school than white youths. And you say there's some evidence that when you look at what people are excluded for, white kids have to do a lot worse than black kids to get excluded from school. So there's some evidence for that. And finally, you've got evidence black kids are turned off school by what's called the white curriculum. And the best way to explain this is through history. You get this talk, I haven't had it for a long time actually, we should get it from white kids. So, why don't we do white history? We do black history, why don't we do white history? To which the answer is, almost all of history in schools is white history. Here's the kings and queens of England, from William the Conqueror in 1066 to the current queen. And what they've all got in common, they're all white. Yeah. If we're doing the Industrial Revolution, that's white people. If we're doing World War I and World War II, that's white people. If we're doing the English Civil War, that's white people. Yeah. And the idea is lots of black kids are turned off by this curriculum.